Okay, so without further ado, let's announce this open. Let me invite on stage Mr. Vinayak Godse for the opening and initial remarks. Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. This is an energetic session coming up, so let's keep the energy high.
So this is a ninth innovation box. We started this as a kind of raw idea in 2014. We thought we should start doing something. When in 2012-13, the ASSET until now was largely focused on protection, defense, helping organizations prepare much better for cybersecurity. But we started seeing that there are some startups, 10, 15, 20 startups in 2010, 11 in cybersecurity. Whenever I'm talking about startup, I'm talking about product companies, not a services company in cybersecurity space. So by seeing these 15, 20 companies in 2010, 11, we thought there should be some mechanism, some platform to recognize the work. And then that's the idea basically which came that what we can recognize is we can recognize the idea, the product idea of the year basically, right? And that's what this innovation box that we as a concept, as idea started. And we are really happy to know that what we started in 2010, 11, only 10, 15 companies in cybersecurity space, now almost 300 plus. Let me reiterate, 300 plus security product company now in the country, and various different parts of the country. Really inspired to see somebody in Madurai, somebody in small village in Tamil Nadu, somebody is in Belgaum, somebody is in Chandigarh, somebody is in Kashmir as well now. So thinking about building their own in cybersecurity space. And this ecosystem for cybersecurity product basically is really growing, and this growth is largely because of the kind of plunge that people are taking to build their own in technology. We all know the volume and velocity, the complexity, the diversity, the requirement of the discipline, requirement of the accuracy is very difficult problem to solve basically, right? So the technology itself is a problem, but in deep technology, cybersecurity is a more sensitive critical challenge basically. Still we see that ecosystem is growing. There are definitely some celebrated examples. There are a lot of success stories that we see in this year of 2022, 2023. Last year we have seen that the pandemic has really helped Indian startups to grow quite significantly. And these success stories are inspiring a lot of those new stories coming in as well actually. And I really thank and to really glad to know that all the years that we have been doing this innovation box since last 4-5 years of time, Indian product company which has really come in the market, they have grown, they have come to the level, they are coming to support this particular innovation box as an idea. So here we have Kratikal, which is one of the really successful product story of India. Thank you Kratikal team for coming and helping us with this, supporting this particular innovation box. Successful product idea, and there are many such, but Kratikal this year came forward to support this particular thing, and they had gone through this kind of phases in early 5-6 years back as well. So the innovation box is a, because we know that security as a discipline is now evolving with a lot of those nuances, lot of areas, lot of those challenges, lot of challenges coming in different domains as well, right? And there are, if I had to really talk about use case, there are hundreds of use cases, and these use cases are very specific to the specific sector, specific domain, specific environment basically. And in that now the use cases are giving deliberated a lot, and the people are trying to build the solutions, and solution built in one area is now can be used for other organizations as well. So in the morning we heard from UIDS, somebody like UIDS is now talking about creating very specific environment. They literally set up a POC environment to work with security startup, and there are already a couple of startups are working with Aadhaar now to take care of the Aadhaar 2.0 cybersecurity challenges and privacy challenges as well. So somebody like Aadhaar is coming. We know that somebody like big banks of India, big manufacturing company, healthcare organization are now looking at to work with startups basically. We have very interesting examples to quote. We can't quote the name of the organization, but there's a one defense unit which is developing entire security stack with Indian startups basically. So 18 to 19 of our startups are working for that one application. And by seeing that one application, the way it is coming, a lot of defense units are coming to us basically. We are talking to Air Force, we are talking to Navy, we are talking to already so many different units of the Army as well. And that's why, and by seeing that, all the public sector organizations, we all know that they have difficulty in terms of procurement from the startup. But I myself has been designed to develop a policies for these PSUs to help them to work with the startups basically. And government intervention like preferential market access policy has really contributing for that basically. So this entire ecosystem, in terms of the overall pipeline of a new solutions, new ideas coming is growing quite a lot. Every month now we are running the incubation round, and every month we are getting to hold, say, 7 to 8 kind of new companies coming in different areas of cybersecurity. They are coming to solve very sensitive, critical problem as well. They are not only now solving the problem of BFSI sector or leading sector basically. So we are now seeing companies coming in hardware security. We are seeing companies coming in a SCADA OT security as well. So we are now able to attract them to some of the critical national priority areas as well, like hardware security, OT security. We had one set of startup working only to solve the 5G and 6G security problem as well, actually. So this ecosystem is vibrant, and that vibrancy is now really demonstrated in different domains, different areas, different use cases. Lot of companies and lot of CISOs that we see here in coming in has been coming here to just to look at what kind of new startups that you are bringing to us basically. And there's a startup pavilion we set up. If some of you have not gone there, it's just outside this, and you have to just climb some 4 or 5 steps, and you'll see there's an entire ecosystem of startups, early stage startups. So that definitely I'm talking about early stage startup. We have set up a pavilion for that, and please join and help them and understand them, and more importantly, encourage them to the work that they have been doing this. With this with having said that, I welcome you all the jury members here. We had help us to even select the 6 startups to compete today. Welcome all the startups competing here. All the best for the best day of your life. Basically, we know that anybody who got this DSA Innovation Box Award had got quite a good successful in the market basically. The lot of traction that organization has got after coming out of this one. And all the people who joined us, you have a role to play, right? All of you have the device, right, to vote as well. So your view and inputs will be also important to select the best idea of the year in this today evening. So once again, welcoming you, and it to you for the next course of action. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vinayak. Exciting insights, inspiring stories, a higher impact, and what is happening across the industry with these journeys that are going through in reach, and of course often for and by the startups in the ecosystem. So truly inspiring there. With that, I want to now invite on stage Rajendra S. Pawar, Chairman DSCI, who will address and kickstart this segment as well to share his thoughts on what the Innovation Box means to him and what it is for all of us.
Nothing more to add, but if you've been to a convocation, university convocation, and someone comes and says, the president will now declare the convocation open, then the president comes and says, I declare the convocation open. And then life goes on. So I'm here to do that. Thanks to jury, very competent people. Just one point which I do want to make, and this last 2 years, because of COVID, I think we've gained a lot. Let me first, we lost a lot, but we gained a lot. And as I was mentioning in the morning, one of the things which it will take us some time to adjust to is a sense of time and space discipline. And I was just commenting. So just because we were working from home and not moving out, going from one meeting to the other was a button, press, go and come back. And now suddenly we realize there's something called commuting, even if we have to go to the other room. So we are seeing a bit of that. But in the middle of all of that, what we can see this year is a huge amount of energy. In the morning, we couldn't get place to walk. So there is obviously, these 2 years have built a lot of momentum which has not been visible. And that's showing up in many other measures. But in terms of new companies getting formed, we saw a bit of that when the Grand Challenge had happened. Number of youngsters coming forward to respond to ideas. And events like this actually become signaling mechanisms. Because many young people are now excited about startup, but when they say, what do I start up with? And then putting in front of them competition, putting in front of them areas where we want you to compete, helps people to get a signaling mechanism. And today's event will also display a bit of what we've asked people to respond to. So wishing everybody the best, and thanks so much. We should get started.
Convocation notes also have a lot of philosophy built into them, so that one surely did. With that, we move into an important segment of the storytelling and the narrative of what it is that we have here. For half a decade, we've had Indian cybersecurity product companies that support the Innovation Box. Mr. Vinayak spoke about it. Following this tradition, we're glad to inform that the partner for this edition of the Innovation Box is Kratikal. Let's hear from Pavan Kushwa, founder Kratikal and Threatcop, requesting Mr. Pavan to kindly take stage and share his thoughts with us.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I didn't really hear it. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Vinayak and DSI team, for this opportunity. And also, there is a long-lasting history that we have with DSI. So I'm probably going to talk about a little bit about the company, what we are in, what are the problems that the industry are currently facing, some of the case study, and obviously conclude at the end what we are able to build that is redefining cybersecurity, especially when it comes to the peoples. So that's something we're going to discuss about today. So I started this company back in 2012 when I was in college. Let me just, not sure why, oh yeah, it's working. So I started this company back in 2013 when I was in college. The interesting part is my email account got hacked, and that was a sophisticated phishing attack. And I actually put it up my credential, and you know that when a kid's email account got hacked and the Facebook account got hacked, what exactly these people does. And I tried to investigate what are the possible reasons behind it. And we are able to identify there's not only a single reason to hack an account, but there are tons of reasons by which you can do that. And that's what we feel as an opportunity. So I, along with my two co-founders, Parathos and Deepjang Thapa, has started this company while in the college. Although we didn't have any idea of what startup means, what it is, it's just that we have to do a business and also make sure that we are able to protect organization from the threats that I have been already encountered in. We have been redefining cybersecurity from a people aspect from that day. And we have a very specific niche that we are playing in, which is a people security and security awareness. So that's something that Threatcop does in itself. Now, the history with DSI is pretty much important. When we were a team of 3 people, we attended one of the conference of DSI in 2016 as in delegates. What we have seen so far is that there's a tremendous potential on this platform which we can showcase. An year later, on the same platform, we showcased our product called Threatcop back in 2017. So we were, although we didn't win any of the award, but we were able to communicate everything what we wanted to communicate to the user. And that's what I will recommend to all the startups, that just focus on what you are building. It's not about winning the award, it's just presenting yourself in front of all those people. And moving fast forward 5 years down the line, here we are standing right now on sponsoring this particular event, which has given us that kind of huge growth. So in these years, in these 5 years, what we were able to achieve, although we have got funded a very little, but still we are able to grow our team with 30x in size in those 5 years. We have grown our revenue by 50x. And we are like one of the leading security startup who is going to make a mark as in like build in India and sell it across. We have customers from 30 plus countries. We are in 5 different continents as of now. So that's what Kratikal and Threatcop is right now, which is born from somewhere from a school or a college, and then come to the SCI and then do all these things. Talking about what exactly we do, so we protect people. I'm pretty sure how many of you have experienced attack which were related to people? Can you just raise your hand? How many of you? I know that people cannot disclose this, but still, if you look at the data, 95% of the attacks in any of the organization is happening via people. Look at any of the attack. It will be a ransomware attack, AD attack, whatever it is. I'll give you some of the demo of how it's been happening and what's been happening. That's where we come in play. So we have a bouquet of product which helps companies to actually protect their entire environment from social engineering attacks. And that's what we intend to do. We wanted to eliminate social engineering attacks from the world. And that's the vision that we just wanted to showcase. Now, sorry for that. Yeah, so in year 2022, these are some of the attacks which have happened. And these are like major attacks. these people does not only lose the reputation, but they also lose the customer trust in those companies, and also has faced severe consequences from a legal issues. The first one is Dropbox. It was a vendor impersonation attack. Okay, I'll just go in detail what it is. The second one was Uber. Although if you just look at the history, okay, how many of you think that two-factor authentication can prevent phishing attacks? Like, there are all the CISOs here. How many of you? So I'll just break that barrier as well, that how the two-factor authentication are being bypassed, these people using social engineering techniques, and what are the things that has happened with these people. Not only this, that the enterprises are being hacked, but also the SMEs are being targeted. There are more than 65% more attacks that has happened in 2022, and that's what is becoming a very big trend. Keeping that in mind, that these attacks are happening because of phishing, wishing, SMSing, and BEC attack. We talk a lot about security awareness, and there are a lot of things that we do, but how you are measuring that effectiveness? How you are making sure that your phish risk rate is low, and all those things? So we're going to talk about that as well in the coming slides. Now let's take an example of the people who feel that two-factor authentication is pretty much something that, yeah, that can prevent this. So this is a very classic case of Uber. By the way, Uber lost almost around 3.9 million customers' data. And the interesting part is that they already have implemented two-factor authentication and a bit kind of security awareness on their organization. But what really happened is an 18-year boy wanted to do some stuff and play around, and what he did is he actually bought some credential from dark web, which is obviously was leaked because of the phishing. Once they do that, the particular guy was trying to actually log into a VPN account. So the VPN has a two-factor authentication, by the way, already enabled. But he made so much attempts to that particular account that the employee got frustrated with why this is happening and why it's happening. Then the hacker, what he did is he actually launched a second attack on the SMS. Yeah, so he actually launched second attack on the SMS, and which says, not an SMS, on WhatsApp, I am from your IT team. If you want these notifications to be stopped, please click on approve. And that's what exactly happened. That's how the user actually able to get into a VPN. And that's how the two-factor authentication was actually bypassed without any challenges. So once, and you know the history, what has been done, what the user was able to do. But we have a traditional thought process on two-step verification, even on the email gateways, and like these technologies that, okay, these can prevent these things. But even if you go on a ladder, these are actually predominant threats. And that's where we come in. We actually design these kind of attacks. We have thousands of templates on our platform where you can actually run these kind of simulation and understand how the users are responding to those attacks. Not only this, but what you can do is you can actually run the campaigns along with these short videos, and I'm just going to talk about a lot on these lines, what exactly we make security awareness is a fun game than having just running through the videos. So this is like just a glimpse of what our rest would look like. This is how they were able to actually get in. Yeah. Now, there is one more attack that I just wanted to put in called BEC, Business Email Compromise Attack. Again, interesting part is there was a two-factor authentication that was protected with a hardware key. Okay, like they had a hardware key. So what happened so far is, and right now I'm not sure, the CISOs must have experienced this, and this is what we have experienced with a lot of customers that has been tried, that the people has been trying to hack. What really happened so far is, in one of the large enterprise, and I'm talking about India, which has, I think, more than 10,000 plus employees, one employee's account got hacked, although they didn't have a two-step verification, but someone actually pretended to be a guy from a Pigma, and then put it up some email. The guy clicked on it, the credential got hacked. They were able to log into their O365 account, and from that O365 account, they sent email to all the people in organization, that to a phishing email. So basically, it became a loop, and they were not able to even control it, that how they will do that. And the other part is because there is a machine-to-machine communication, and I guess the CISOs will understand that the directory or AD, you cannot directly go and put these controls in a single day. So this is what is being happening. The same thing happened with Dropbox and how they were being attacked. So in a Dropbox, there's something called Circle CI, which is a DevOps platform. What they try to do is they have sent a very maliciously crafted emails saying, okay, we are from a Circle CI. The guy clicked on this. The guy put it up credential for a GitHub. Not only this, when the two-step verification comes in, he also put up a hardware key in the code in the system. And they were actually, on the back end, they were actually receiving those codes, and they got logged into a GitHub account, and the rest is history. So eventually and I'm pretty sure that everyone in the Dropbox, even in the Uber, will have best class of firewall, best class of antiviruses, best class of endpoints, and whatever you can think of. So that's the reason why we feel that the people is something that we really need to look at, and then we really need to focus on. Now, the other part, which is very, very critical when it's come to security awareness, we look at, some of the people especially look at the security awareness from a phishing standpoint, or from social attack from a phishing standpoint. What we really have to look at, what are the ways by which your users are actually hacking? Just a second. Yeah, so what are the ways by which the user are actually hacking those systems? Why these systems are being hacked? So I have just wanted to actually close it up because the time is, yeah. So this is generally the way. Let me just point it out what exactly it is and how these things happen. And this is what Threatcop does in a nutshell. So if you just look at, if I can just, oh, it's not working. So if you just look at the ways by which the attackers just generally look to hack into organization are the communication channels which you can actually communicate. It could be your phone call, it could be an SMS, it could be a WhatsApp, it could be a USB, it could be an email. These are the major communication channels that is being used currently in today's world. An interesting part is, generally we put firewall, antiviruses, or any other technical stuff that we wanted to put it, that too is on something like email gateway, on email side. But while we talk about phone call, we talk about SMS, we talk about WhatsApp, there is no firewall which is going to protect those SMSs or messages coming into the play. The only thing that you remain with is the threat simulation and awareness. Now, if you just look at that, the emails and the way we work is that if you have these SMS, WhatsApp, and USB, what you are able to do is you can just simulate and see how the risk is going on and aware that those people. We are able to reduce almost around 90% kind of click rate on the organization within a year of time. And that's the kind of value addition that we do. Apart from this, there is a very interesting thing that apart from us, across the world, and I'm quoting it, across the world, no one has the capability of simulating these all attack vectors at a single pace. We have been competing in the West, we have been competing with Know4, we have been competing with Cofense. These are like large companies doing $300 million as a revenue. We have been fighting with them, and the customers, interestingly, and this is just for a startup as well, the customer is ready to have a two product for a same nature because they are lacking those features on that previous product. That's what we have been able to actually redefine, and that's what is going to make us stand out in that system. So as soon as the email is received, it's generally being filtered by an email gateway, although we do not have it, we're still building it up, but generally being filtered by the email gateway. 99% of the threats are stopped here itself, whatever email gateway that you're using. But just think about this 1% threat, which generally goes back to your employees. Now the employee is the end decision maker who takes a call on whether to click on that particular phishing link or an email or whatever that he has received. Once he clicks on that link or put in a credential, you're done. There's nothing that you can do. And that's why the security awareness is important, and that's why we put up TSET. The next product that we have, TLMS, which is Learning Management System, which actually integrated with the system. Now, if the employee feels that email, he wanted to investigate if the email is correct, wrong, what the spam score and everything, we give a button inside the Outlook or a Gmail. So what you can do is you can just click on that email button and understand if the email, before opening the email even, that if this email is safe to open or not. And you can decide on that. If you feel that this is not safe to open and if you feel suspicious, you can click on reporting, report the email, and whatever, so let's say there are 1,000 people in your organization, if one guy reports it and it's being identified as a threat, the entire email will be wiped out from your entire organization and you will never receive same kind of email ever again. That's the kind of things that we do. So this is majorly from a email perspective. Like I said, for all other attack vectors, we have a simulation. There is nothing that we can do to prevent it. But from an outbound perspective, where the emails are being used, we have something called TDMARC, which is a DMARC solution. So if you put up a JJAC policy in the DMARC, you will be able to save your domain being spoofed on that line. So this is what Threatcop does in a nutshell, and that's all we have. What our vision is to actually become a leader, especially in this space, and eliminate whatever threats that you see from a social engineering attacks. That's the vision that we impart. And not only this, we wanted to become world's largest cybersecurity company using this niche, and we will be able to do it in some day. So we just want blessing from all of you, and even the feedbacks, if you want to share, you can just book a time and then just let us know whatever you feel and whatever can be built. We are always open to that. So thank you so much for your time, and all the best to all the startups here. And this is the biggest platform that you can ever get, especially in India, to actually pitch your product. So thank you so much.
And that was Pawan Kushwaha, who was sharing their journey of Kratikal and what they do and how they operate in the space that they're in. PwC India has been the process partner for DSCI Excellence Awards and Innovation Box since the inception. So can we have a huge round of applause for the team of PwC, who every year helps us put this together. It's time to understand the format, so I'd like to request Mr. Anas Vikhar, Director PwC India, to brief us on the process and criteria on which the shortlisted contestants would be judged and the process and methodology that's adopted to get this going. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Shreya. Respected jury members, audience, thank you, and a very good evening. So I'll not hold you for long. I think we have spoken a lot about the innovation box, the objective, and all of those things have been clearly laid down. PwC has been proudly associated with DSCI for the last 12 years in the DSCI Excellence Awards. For the innovation box, this is the 9th year which is running, and we have seen quite a overwhelming response that we have received from the startup community over the last few years. This has been really overwhelming for us as well in terms of helping the startups, recognizing those particular talents that we have in the industry, the startups growing from India, serving the global companies, serving the countries. That is a very satisfying thing for PwC as a whole. Just to be clear in terms of the format of the evaluation which we are going to have. So we are going to have 6 nominations, shortlisted candidates who are going to present one by one on stage. Just go to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. So how it will go is, for each of the candidates, they are going to do a presentation for 5 minutes. It will be a presentation from their side. It will run for 5 minutes. Then we will have 2 minutes of question and answer round, wherein they will have to address the questions or queries which are being raised. Here we will also have a voting which needs to be done by the audience. So I believe all the audiences have received a small voting pad. I believe everyone has it. If none, if you don't have it, please raise your hands and we'll get it to you. Okay, perfect. So there are few members. Team, can we please manage the voting pads for them as well? Okay, so I would just request, from a fairity perspective, the representations, the companies who are going to present these 6 companies, the representatives from those 6 companies, please avoid using the voting pad. I think, that is one fair thing that we could ask from you. But rest of the audience, feel free to vote for the organizations who are presenting or doing the presentation over here. After we are done with each of the presentation, jury is going to also give the marks for each of the presentation. We will have the marks from the jury as well as the audience poll for each of the presentation or the company which is going to present over here. We will do a calculation. There is a weightage which has been assigned to both jury scores as well as the audience scores. So we just wanted to make sure that audience is also an active participant to this particular process. 70% of the weightage is going to be given to jury going to present. We will declare in terms of the top 3 finalists who are going to be there. However, the final declaration and the winners, etc., is going to be announced tomorrow. during the award ceremony. So that is going to be common. So we'll end up in terms of the presentation, jury score, and the audience poll. Okay. Next slide, please. In terms of the evaluation criteria, primarily there are 3 criteria that we are evaluating each of these startups, and this is something which can be, I mean, audience and the jury members are going to consider while doing the voting for each of the company. One is the product idea in terms of how novel idea that particular thing is and how it solves the cybersecurity problem of the industry. Product roadmap, we are also emphasizing in terms of what is the roadmap of the product, commercialization, management, ecosystem, and those particular aspects. Third aspect is also in terms of the organization profile, in terms of the promoters, leadership, management experience. So the companies are expected to cover these particular aspects while doing the 5-minute presentation that they have. As I said, we will have 70% of the weightage coming from the jury score, 30% weightage is going to come in from the audience poll. This next slide, please. So we have 6 companies who are going to present. I mean, this is going to be alphabetical order. So they are going to come on stage one by one. 5 minutes presentation. Just to be fair and transparent to everyone, we will call out, I mean, we are going to monitor the 5 minutes time. We'll call out once 4 minutes 30 seconds are over, and we'll give you a shout out in terms of only 30 seconds are remaining. We would request to complete the presentation within the prescribed time. That is very important. I will have one after the other these companies presenting on stage. Next, please. Now, just to make sure that, okay, I mean, we are comfortable with the voting mechanism from the audience perspective. I mean, the voting pads that you would see, it has numbers from 1 to 9. Only 1 to 5 are working. 1 is the, so you can, I mean, just imagine this is the star that you are giving. So 1 is the lowest mark, 5 is the highest mark that you are going to give. So if a company has performed well, and if you want to score them high, it will be towards 5. If a company you believe has not, I mean, is not up to the mark and you would want to rate them lower, it will be towards 1. Okay. So this is the thing. So what we will, and there will be a ticker also which will run. Whatever number you are going to press on the notepad, that is going to get registered. One device can only have 1 vote. Okay, if you are going to press multiple times, the last vote is going to get counted. Okay, so just make sure that you, I mean, if you are clear, then probably just press it once. This is going to get captured. If you are going to press it twice, the last vote is going to get captured. We'll only have 1 vote per device which is going to be accounted for. Okay. The mechanisms of the calculations which we have, these are based on the weightages and the percentages. So total number of votes, even if these differ in the different, for the different participants, the percentages will cater and account for those particular things. So irrespective of the number of votes, is the percentage of the votes which everyone is getting across these 5 categories is something which is going to matter in the final calculation. So this is more from a process perspective. I think, I mean, a straightforward one, this we have been following since long. What we are also going to do is we'll do a test run just to showcase in terms of how it is going to come up on screen. So once the audience is polling, it is going to get reflected on the screen also, that for that particular team, how many what is the percentage of people who have voted as 1, percentage of people who have voted as 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So can we just have a test poll, please? So this is just a dummy poll. Can we have the graph? Ticker. Yeah, so ticker will start. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Consider these as stars. 1 is lower, 5 is higher. Please vote, audience. If you can, please vote on the voting pad. So that's all. So here we will have to stop. Votes after this are not going to get registered. This is the final vote count that we are going to have percentage wise. Okay. Sure. So if I read it correctly, total 110 votes were there. 4.5% votes have said A, which is 1. 10% are B, which is 2. 16% C, 3. 18.2% D, 4. And last 50.9 is E, 5. Okay. So these things are going to get registered. We'll record these, and during the final calculation, we will take consideration of this one. Okay. Sure. So I think I'll not hold all of you from meeting the startups that we have. So all the very best startups. Shreya, if you can please call on one by one. And so just one last thing, startups will call out at 4:30, please. We just want to be, equal time for every participant. Please wrap it up by within 5 minutes. Thank you.
Audience, only 110 of you voted. There are a lot more of you than 110. Can I see your voting pads up in the air? Your sincerity was for when the team started, not before they start. So make sure that you vote. Yeah, every vote matters. Every vote counts. Okay, so we're all set. We're ready to begin the game. It's time for the Power Pack presentations. The jury is all set and ready. For the first presentation, we have Team Cyberstank. Over to you guys. Congratulations and all the best.
My name is Rohit Pankoti and I am the founder of Cyberstank.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anshuman Bali. I'm the co-founder of Cyberstank.
We have developed a breakthrough detection mechanism for anomaly process to detect fresh malware and ransomware in early stage. So according to FBI, ransomware attacks are skyrocketing at the speed never seen before, where advanced malware and tactics are used. According to FBI, ransomware attack is skyrocketing at the speed never seen before, where the advanced malware and the tactics are used by skilled cyber criminals to evade security solutions with hidden rootkit and payload. Despite huge investment in people and products, many companies still struggle in detecting sophisticated malware, due to which attacks like ransomware are skyrocketing. And lack of awareness, unskilled resource, and outdated process are major challenges for many organizations.
For example, the recent attack at AIMS, they have spent hefty amount on their security features, but still they were attacked.
Cyberstank is a technology-driven company consists of group of malware researchers and reverse engineers who leverage the power of automation, simulation to identify a diverse range of threats with our advanced R&D lab. Scrutiny. Scrutiny detects malware using a self-learning algorithm without any reliance on signature, with a scan time less than of second, with a cross-platform support and ease of deployment, which bring peace of mind for many CISOs. And we support having a SDK, cloud, and hybrid network also.
And you can see the average scan time of detecting any malware is less than a second. And we have major zero-day detections, which has been done by our scrutiny sensor across platforms.
We choose to enter partnership with OPSWAT to prove our team credibility. In one incident, we detect a Chinese state-sponsored Daxin malware targeting US government agency with our old data set.
And you can see the malware what we detected was detected on February 14, 2022, wherein the other companies, when they participated in that bidding, they were able to detect it in May, April, March, which was way after when we detected that.
While our offline SDK engine is integrated in OPSWAT, SCADA, and OT-Prod platform to protect critical infra. Scrutiny is one of the engine to be converted into mainnet in Polysom and win millions of nectar till now, while empowering our partnership with good accuracy and reliability by single detection also.
You can see the percentage of detection is more than 90%, and you can see a list of bidders, like the other companies who tried to detect those malwares. None of them were able to detect, and scrutiny sensor, a product of Cyberstank, was able to detect in all the occasions.
The goal of any security control should be to block any attack or a 0 day before any damage. Special technique to protect against malware evasion, mimicking ransomware, and collecting TTP made us different from others in different test forums. Our customer-oriented light products seamlessly integrate technology in any infrastructure. And these are some use cases where we have tested some 0 days, where we have detected most of the 0 days.
And the other product what we have developed is a spectral browser, which is a non-Chromium browser, wherein if you'll see all other browsers which we are being used here are Chromium based, and there are 9 plus 0-day malware exploits of Chromium based browsers, which led to a volume of cyber attacks in 2022.
Yes. So in our research, we have found out Chromium engine has been exploited multiple times, and we have made this spectral browser to main aims to block malware, phishing, and other wild exploits, and maintaining privacy with zero information gathering. Our GTM is based on testing our tech with our premium scanner API to get instant validation and seamless integration of our scrutiny engine. Threat intelligence is the easiest way to deploy advanced scanner and ISE reports. We offer a post-attack assessment service based on hypothesis simulation techniques and data aggregated at our R&D lab. Ransomware assessment and simulation exercise to validate corporate cybersecurity posture and validate their existing security products. So we created a test with a hypothesis, and we created a test on endpoints and perimeter level devices. In a short period of time, our technology has proven a track record in many states. Yes.
You can see the integration with Mach 37 and 40 plus engines integration like Polyswarm, OpSWAT, Palo Alto, hybrid analysis. And we have been accredited by AMSO, MRC FITAS, Maryland Tech Council, Virginia Innovation Partnership Cooperation. Then we were nominated for the most innovative company last year as well, and this year we have come up with few more products.
And recently we have started our research in building a SCADA OT based scanner and mobile based scanner also.
These are the few testimonials by great leaders of industry, and which prove that we have bring the unique methodology in detecting malwares.
And yeah.
Let's now open for questions from the jury. Jury, the floor is open for your questions.
I do.
So, guys, you didn't talk about your organization, the promoter, leadership, management experience. Can you briefly tell us a little about your both experience?
Okay, so I had experience with many companies, right? I have worked with McKinsey also. I have experience open source product like DuckDuckGo, Hackaday. So I have been building that kind of technology from the past. And when I started this company, I got a accelerator for Mark 37, which is a US-based accelerator, which got lots of traction in the market. Like the entering with OpSWAT or some kind of a partnership, they give a platform where we can prove our engine traction and prove our engine credibility also. So
like now we have a team of over 30 plus engineers who are doing a reverse engineering and developing a lot of different platforms like the scanning mechanism, and we have developed a team of more than 40 resellers who are promoting our product across platforms. But the only thing what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and do more and more testing. So, after participating in a lot of exhibitions, in past 6 to 7 months, we have been approached by a lot of government sectors wherein we are, developing few products for them. Now, there is a need of a product development for Android-based platform, because right now everybody is working on Windows, Linux, and IoT-based devices. But now our team is dedicated towards creating a product for Android-based. So, almost every sector we are trying to enhance our,
Short answers, guys.
Yes.
So, what I understand is that your roadmap is to go on to Android and develop something on OT, that's it?
Yes. So it will be all across on the malware detection. So what we do, we create a huge data set of malware, and we train the model, the detection engine. So it will learn by the way, like if there is a new malware or a 0-day, so it will learn. Like
so how many customers do you have?
So it will.
We have more than 10 direct customers who are using our product in their companies. Plus, there are, more than, as I told you, more than 40 resellers who are promoting our product and sending it, and selling it in different platforms.
And we are also doing lots of POCs, like where we are doing a paper detection. We are not charging for any paid POCs. Like there is a misconception of paid POC. So we are going for a paid paper detection where if we are detecting any malware, so then only the customer have to pay.
So we have a lot of customers like that.
You charge only on success.
On a detection only.
Yes.
If we
And
detect,
if you don't detect,
so
you
there
don't,
will
you
be
make
no
no
charge.
money.
Then we don't.
There
Yeah.
will
So
be
your
no,
revenue model is based
it
on.
will be only for POC. So POC, if they are using our POC, if they are detecting, then they have to pay.
What is your revenue model after the proof of concept?
So it will be depend upon the, like, if they are buying our POCs or if they are going to buy our.
Then there are different products, like how many products, what kind of a product they would go for. If they go for Aster Box, then there is a different price model.
It's a subscription model or a transaction model?
It is a subscription model.
So like for API, it will be subscription. So if customer want to use our API only, they don't want to use our agent, like offline agent or other agent, so they can go for API version also.
What is the percentage of false positives that
Sorry?
we normally get? False positive, percentage of false positives.
So in our slide also we have written like there is a case of 2 to 3% of false positive where there are some of the software which work like as a malware, which act as a like a malware. So but we have cases of whitelisting or good graveware. So we are eradicating that kind of false positive also.
False negative?
Sorry?
False negative.
So in the slide also we have a such a use case where a false negative is also there. So it will be a 5 to 10%. Like,
does your product also support the fileless malware or in-memory malware?
yes. So it can be detect any malware if we are residing over an agent. If we are going for an API, like file have to be submitted on our board.
Like we
So
have a
like
crypto
like many companies from AV industry, like coming from 90s, right? So we are the company who has just started like from back 2 years, and we have proving our results. So we have all the results where we are detecting malware, such kind of a sophisticated malware.
So your customer profiles, like what kind of customers you are going after, and also regional in India, how many you have in the US?
Okay.
How many customers you have? What is your primary GTM strategy?
So primary GTM will be paper detection. So we don't go to, like, we have a like a client set like financial, BFSI. We are going for critical infrastructure also and the government also. So our primary focus will be on the paper detection where they will get to know our product.
Like because everybody is a potential customer for us. Ransom attack will not see caste, color or creed or the size of the organization. Even a textile owner can be a victim of ransom attack. Probably he's using or she's using the computer for financial transactions. So that is also a potential victim of any kind of a ransom attack. So we don't see a size. Anybody and everybody is our customer. So whosoever approaches us, if they want to test our product credibility, we go for POC. We say that, okay, we can do a POC for you. Once you see the result, then anybody whosoever has seen the result has become our customer. And that is the confidence that we have, because as Rohit already said, like, we are a new company, like, we are a company which is born in a new era. So we have seen all those things. We have been doing reverse engineering, and reverse engineering has always given positive results. Because once you see what people have missed out on, or what is going wrong, or what has gone wrong, and what could lead to any damage, we go ahead and control those patches and loopholes.
So typically, how long does it take for you to implement your software, and also how much time it takes for the customer to start seeing the results?
See, now start seeing the results. If they have their own data set which they want to check, if they have any malware samples which they want to test, so that will happen instantly. Like, once we'll integrate, it will take 10 to 15 minutes to integrate our API model to, any system. And if they want to do a real-time testing, then that has to be an online model once we do it. So if anybody would try to attack them, then they would be able to show the results. So the mechanism is less than seconds. If you saw in this slide, like, our scan result has been proven, in less than a second time at multiple occasions. So that is, our scan time is very fast. So once it is installed, if there are real-time, malwares which is coming on that particular testing model, we would go ahead and give the results immediately.
Yeah, so I'm more interested to know from POC to actual customer, right? The result once they sign up as a customer from a POC? That's what I'm trying to find out.
So actually, we have done one POC with Instant Pay where we have roll out the same model, paper detection. But after that model, they have introduced our engine in KYC document. So all the KYC which are coming to that company, so we are scanning for malware or any malicious files. So that was a use case what we have done with one financial company where we have integrated our engine. So it's kind of an engine where you can integrate in any level. It can be integrated in network, it can be integrated in endpoints, it can be integrated in cloud also. So it will, like, our main objective is to give a detection. Like if it is a malware or malicious, we found any kind of a malicious pattern, we will call it malware. So that is our process, and that is how we are working.
So how long did it take? That's what I'm asking.
So it depend upon the organization only. Like
this particular example you spoke about.
Okay. So it's like a one month testing what they have done, and after that they have converted into KYC document server. Right.
Jury? Okay. So jury is done with the questions. Thank you so much, team
Thank you so much,
Cyberstan.
everyone. Have a good night.
Now is the time for the audience poll. So we request you to kindly vote on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. Audience, your pads out. Can we have the timer? 30 seconds to cast your vote. Make it count. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you, audience. Hope you've cast your votes. With that, without further ado, let's bring back Dissector Technologies Private Limited as the second company that's going to be presenting on stage. This time, audience, jury, you'll also have the timer ticking for the Q&A. And again, requesting this team to keep their answers crisp and to the point. Audience, put your hands together and welcome them on stage.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So my name is Aindran, and I'm co-founder at Dissector. So tonight I'm going to present INCOG, our data privacy management tool. So let me begin with the problem statement. So nowadays data is being generated everywhere, and each second a huge amount of data is generated. Even at this very moment, your smartphones would be listening, and by the time you reach your home, they might even suggest some data management tools as well. But worry not, it might just be us. So these data generated are in different file formats, and they are located across the organization's local file systems and on the cloud. This makes it an uphill task for the organization to adhere to privacy compliance regulations as well as manage data security risks. So coming to INCOG, so we provide data discovery, classification, and data remedial solutions. So data discovery and classification enables the organization to unlock insights, and the remedial operations enables the organization to comply with privacy regulations as well as future-proof data security. Speaking about data discovery and classification, it works on both on-prem data and as well as the cloud. So it works on unstructured data sources such as image files, PDF, or any other doc files, as well as structured data sources such as SQL, Postgres, as well as Excel and CSV files. So the remediation process that we provide is anonymization. So there are different remedial processes in anonymization such as generalization, data swapping, data masking, and further we provide deletion and part of it is cryptographic shredding that enables an organization to delete data from their backup as well. And thirdly, we provide homomorphic encryption. So it is a quantum safe encryption and it enables aggregated data sharing for the organization. So data privacy officers can use our product to generate privacy impact assessment report and get an overview of the overall sensitivity of the data that they have with us. So speaking of the roadmap, so in April we had a pilot run of the INCOG classification module with a government investigative agency for investigation purposes. And later on, we used the module in one of the insurance automobile sector, wherein they use our anonymization module to prevent data leakage from within their organization. So later on, we developed last month the INCOG module for working on the local file system. And further on, we are working with a go-to-market strategy with one of the legal firms that carries out privacy audits and data audits for different organizations. So we will have a marketable product in January itself that comes with the data discovery classification and remediation module along with the data privacy report generation. Further on, we are looking forward to implementing the module of aggregated data analytics on encrypted data that can help organizations to share sensitive data in a secured manner. And ultimately, we are looking towards on-the-go INCOG that can enable mobile devices users to use INCOG for data classification within their phones itself. So the team comprises of me, Manav, and we have scientific advisor, Professor Saujanya. So he is an expert in NER and he guides us with the algorithms and AI for machine learning models. And Manav has done his master's from cybersecurity from Eurocom in France. And I have experience as a freelancer, as a developer. Yeah. So that will be all. Thank you for your time. Yeah.
Jury, it's now over to you.
Yeah, you have mentioned data classification a number of times, but you have not talked about how you are going to, what is the mechanism you use for it? Do you use some automated mechanism or just you are using whatever has been flagged as a confidential data or restricted data?
So we are using NER and machine learning models we have developed in-house. So it works on mainly unstructured data. So for unstructured data, it can be like images and different PDF files. So
on what basis you classify?
So we have developed machine training models, like we have generated in-house data. And as I mentioned, like we had POC pilot run with a government investigative agency. So they had a huge amount in TBs of data. So we use classification for that. So they wanted to segregate the financial data from all the data. So we had to reduce from TBs of data to a few GBs of data for their investigation purposes.
What was the false positive and false negative results like?
So the worst case that for now we have reached is 80%. Like if the image files, let's say all the files are in image in unstructured format, so it's about 80% in the worst case. Yeah.
Talk to us a little about your revenue model.
So currently it's based on use case basis, like per GB of data. So in the market there is data discovery and classification solutions provided by AWS itself. So they charge $1 per GB. So we are charging about 40 cents, and they only work on S3 buckets data and on structured data, while we are working on unstructured data as well. That is both on the local system as well as on cloud.
How many customers do you have?
So we have had pilot runs with 4 customers, and currently we have a go-to-market strategy with one legal firm that has 200 clients. So they are mainly using our product for privacy audits and that will become a necessity with the soon to be coming data privacy bill in India.
So you talked about encryption using lattice methodologies,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
And so if there is a data leak, no one will be able to decrypt. Are you saying that?
Yeah, so it can be used for aggregated data analytics. So for that, you do not need to decrypt the data for its analysis. So we have a query engine. So whether the analyst can send in their queries to our query engine, and it will perform the analytics on the data that is on the premises of the organization itself. So there is no requirement of the organization to share the data with the analysis.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, jury. Audience, time to cast your vote again. Vote again on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being lowest, 5 being highest. Can we have the audience poll open, please? And 0, and the voting has ended. Can we have a huge round of applause for Dissector Technologies? Coming to the third team on stage, NAP ID Cybersec Private Limited. NAP ID, the stage is yours. Take it away.
For a simple login and payments, we have to pass through so many security checks like password, CAPTCHA, OTP, PIN, CVV. And still, 80% of the breaches occur using stolen credentials and causing damages worth the trillions of dollars every year, as per the report by Verizon. This is not happening because people are stealing your passwords. This is happening because the existing 50 years old authentication methodology allowing anyone to use anyone's passwords, anyone's credit card, sitting from any corner of the world. This is the major advantage for the hackers and the frauds. We have the solution. What if you have my password, you have my credit card, but you cannot use it? When one person cannot use another person's credentials, there are no fraudulent transactions. Unfortunately, I will not be able to come and lock your hand. That is why we have invented the world's first fraud filter system that will lock your login form, payment form, ATM machine, POS machine, and enable them only for you to use your credentials and initiate a transaction. If someone have your password or a credit card, they cannot even type it. So hence, it will not be misused. For the live demonstration, I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to invite a hacker on the stage. Today, you are going to see how exactly NAP ID is going to authenticate the genuine users and filter the fraud upfront for the same credentials. What you see on the left side is a NAP ID authenticator app. I'm telecasting it from my phone. This is a passwordless login method, just a user ID. You see somehow. So let me continue. So what you see on the left side is the NAP ID zero-factor authenticator app, and this use case is a passwordless login. You can see just a user ID is there. This small plugin, you see, this is my ID, this is our invention. Actually, this is a plugin, you know, locking your login form, and you see this button is useless. All I need to do is type my user ID, one touch in the NAP ID mobile app, one click, and the form enabled only for me to proceed further. In case, say, a fraud or a hacker stole my password, right, or a user ID, they are trying to misuse it. You see what's happening? It says ID is sleeping. I stop the fraudulent transaction even before it's initiated. This is called stopping the thief outside of the door, not inside your locker room and asking for an OTP and other things, right? The same way, I can lock your login form with password. Even if they have my password, they cannot even type it. I can lock your credit card form, ATM machine, POS machine. In that way, we also have a product for a OTP replacement. Just with one touch, I can verify your mobile number. So this time it works. So we are the winner of Reserve Bank of India's Global Hackathon under the problem statement alternate authentication mechanism. And NAPID is the first solution in the world that authenticates the application and then the authorized users, not the alphabets and numbers. And we make the stolen passwords and credit card useless in the hands of others. There are no competition. However, businesses are using certain other alternatives like a two-factor authentication. Unfortunately, it has a lot of chances to bypass it, and it restricts only to login. NAPID can secure and authenticate login, online payments, ATM, POS, as well as UPI. In India, it's a $12 billion market. Our business model is monthly and annual subscription plan to secure IDs in sleep mode. Starts with 50 rupees per ID per month, and the mobile number verification starts just 3 paise. These are the top engagements. NPCI has already given us a proposal to put the layer on the UPI soon. 7.2 billion transactions per month will pass through it, and working with RBI and few other banks. And we are 3 co-founders. I am Kulot Vijay, inventor and CEO of NAPID. The lady hacker over here is my co-founder and COO. And we are a fellow from IIT Kanpur and have 30+ years of IT experience in solution and security. Our personal advisor is Mr. Bharat Panchal, who is a well-known cyber security expert globally. We have wonderful supporting pillars like IIT Kanpur, DSCI, STPI FinBlue for our funding, and CISEC for the industry connects. I would like to remind you all in this moment about the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, that says the world looks to India for the next innovation. Take the history of authentication. India is using the technologies, either importing or duplicating it. NAPID is a new way of authentication invented in India. With all your support, we will be able to revolutionize the authentication industry globally, sitting from India. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Your questions.
You haven't talked about what is your roadmap going forward?
So this is a methodology we have invented, new way of authentication. We have started with the web login security, and currently we are working on the mobile login security, and we have a unique product which is a mobile number verification, where we have replaced the OTP. OTP frauds are too much just with a one touch. That is happening, and we are working with Microsoft and certain other OEM where we can implement this product on there as a layer, and we are working with NPCI on the employee login also.
So you do not use password, and you showed us that, but what do you use? Do you use biometrics? What do you use?
No, biometric, everything is part of your phone, correct? It's a simple thing. We have invented something called as a sleep mode technology, where we secure your credentials to sleep mode 24/7, secure your login form, payment form to sleep mode 24/7. Just with your mobile phone, we enable the application for you to initiate. If someone have your password, that's what she said. She had my user ID. She could not even go further. So we are acting as a top layer, and we enable the application for you.
So you're saying that the user ID and mobile phone, if that both are available, then it will work?
Yes, only for you, because you already have your security features added on your phone, right? If it's on the other person's hand, it won't.
If the mobile phone is stolen by the hacker and the hacker has the user ID, then you can.
First of all, the app will not open without your Face ID, biometric pattern, and all those things, right? In case you lost your mobile, first thing you'll do is you block your SIM. The moment you block your SIM, app stops working. If somebody try to jailbreak to take your pattern and other things, the app stops working. If somebody do a SIM swap fraud, right, and all you can see in the app is a alias ID. We don't show an actual ID. People can play with one touch, but it's not going to communicate anywhere. It's an asynchronous process.
So there are other apps also which are available on mobiles like Microsoft Authenticator and all. How is your product different?
So that's what I mentioned. That's an alternative. It's a two-factor authentication. That comes into the picture after the fraud already cracked your app password and he's in the application. A simple differentiation is like there is a security guard standing outside of this door and he is verifying your pass and sending it in. What level of accuracy that would be, or he allows everybody inside the room and coming to the chair one by one verifying it. Two-factor authentication acts in a second way. It allows in and verify that's you or not. We are a zero factor. Even before your credentials are being entered, we make sure you are the one using your credentials.
Does it have the agent on the mobile phone or SDK?
We do have an SDK. We provide, there is an App ID Authenticator app. If somebody is looking for an SDK model, we can give that also.
But then how do you prevent the registration hijacking?
And what method you can register, you can hijack the registration? The registration happens in a 3-touch mode. So we don't ask you what is your mobile number. We fetch what is the mobile number sitting on your phone. And then if the SIM has been ejected, the app stops working.
So talk to us a little about your go-to-market strategy. You had a very impressive name of people that you've partnered with. What is your go-to-market? What customers do you have? What is the revenue you have?
Last year we made around 2 lakh rupees revenue. It's a beta testing. We just gave our product to a few people, wanted to test it. And this May we won this Reserve Bank of India's hackathon, and you can go to RBI website and see our name. RBI is putting our product in their regulatory sandbox so that banks can come and test it, and as it's been endorsed. And ours is a horizontal product. However, we are focusing on the banking sector because that is where people losing a lot of money. So that is our sector, and also enterprise grade solution, B2B.
So do you have customers today, or you're still in the process of doing beta testing with whoever comes from RBI side?
No, we have customers in play. We have
So what is your revenue?
Our revenue is $1,000. After we got recognized from RBI. After the beta test, it's $1,000 from a healthcare company.
Can you talk more on your pricing model or revenue model?
Yeah, it's a business model is like monthly and annual subscription per ID, per user ID or a per credit card. It's in India, it starts with 50 rupees per ID.
If RBI is going to do this and you have per user ID, that is where at least I'm very confused. Your pricing is a B2C pricing, but what you're telling us about your go-to-market is a B2B2C. So what is the game plan? Tell us.
Yes, it's a B2B. We sell it not to the customers because the application has to sit on the...
All your pricing was B2C.
The pricing is B2B because, the user IDs is being provided by the, banks or the enterprises. So we sell to the solution. If you have
not pay you $50 back.
Now, per ID, I'll give an example. We have a product for bank. We had a discussion with this NPCI CEO. The mobile number verifier is just 3 paise, and for an SMS, banks are charging 50 rupees from everybody ID every month, correct? And this is a user ID selection. Our primary target is like not the B2B2C, it's B2B2E, I would say, for their employees. See, the authentication methodology goes for the employee login. And the DO2FA is charging $9 per ID where Cisco easily got attacked. We are just giving less than $1 in that price.
I have one last question.
Please.
What about the scalability? Suppose the organization has, say, 50 million, 60 million users on net and mobile banking, right? Then everybody will download, everybody will pump the traffic. So how do you ensure that the whole complexity of the scalabilities and the concurrency is managed?
So in fact, we do implement in 2 ways. We have a SaaS product ready, especially certain banking sectors and major industries look for on-prem solution. And our SaaS has been, our infra team makes sure that it's been scalable. But an on-prem model, we tied up with Dell, where they ship the, a solution on premises to them. It's been set up that way. If there is a 50 million users, that many racks we need to give to them.
Not about hardware, I'm saying. that is relatively very easy. It's all about the software algorithms.
It has been built with that model. My CTO is not here, but it's been built. The Kubernetes and all those things has been taken care to have the solution scalable on its own.
Thank you so much, jury. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Can we have a huge round of applause for NAPID? Audience, if you're leaving, please don't take the voting pads with you. Please make sure that you give them to the volunteers who are standing at the doors. Also now it's time for us to vote. So let's have our voting pads ready. 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, and your time starts now. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, so that was NAPID, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've all cast your votes. Coming up on stage is Prophase Technologies Private Limited. Please put your hands together and welcome them up. Prophase, if you can come and take stage.
So very good evening to one and all, to respected members of the jury, to the esteemed CISO community, and all the wonderful people of Delhi and also the other states. So we are here as Prophase Web Application Firewall and the new innovations that we're bringing onto the web application firewall industry. And let me introduce myself. I am Lakshmi Das, co-founder and product evangelist at Prophase. So let's have a just sneak peek of what is the innovation that we are actually bringing onto picture. So according to Google API security report, it has been reported that 50% of all the organizations have actually experienced a security breach in the last 12 months. And more than 62% of all the decision makers have supported that, even they have faced this kind of a breach. And what is the reason? The rate at which APIs are being developed exceeds the rate at which security researchers can actually ensure the security of these APIs. So this is it's a major concern. Another issue is the security of third-party APIs which are actually communicating with your applications. Have you even wondered about how the security can be tackled? Because we have all taken care, all kinds of security measures and layers have all come on top of your applications and your APIs. But what if the third-party APIs that are actually communicating with your applications, they get breached or they are compromised? How will you deal with it? This has not been addressed by any of the vendors out there, and that is where Prophase Web Application Firewall is actually bringing on its innovation. And it all started when we were addressing a security challenge of a customer who was actually running an application on a microservice-based platform. So while Googling for a solution, we found that there was no other vendor, even the international vendors, they were not addressing this. That is when we actually tried our hands on it and we came out with this wonderful product. And less did we know that this would be a disruption into the market until and unless we were actually approached by the big billion-dollar companies for an acquisition or a partnership. So that was something that really made us proud. So, and another thing or a security issue that is actually addressed in the market is that container adoption is booming, and Gartner has actually predicted that more than 75% of the applications would be actually shifting to containerization. So who is actually going to look into this specific area of container security? Are all the application vendors or the security vendors going to take care of this? Never. And this is a global, or it has a total addressable market of 25+ billion in the next 10+ years. And Prophase is an early entrant. And we all know that now development is shifting to the DevOps or the DevSecOps perspective. And security has also to be shifted into all these layers of secure software development lifecycle. And this is where Prophase, being an innovative solution, will be able to communicate with all the layers of the secure software development lifecycle. Now let's have a look into how this has been actually handled in the current scenario. So we can actually separate the evolution of WAF into 3 different sectors, which is WAF 1.0, the very old WAF which we are all familiar with, and we have WAF 2.0, which is all the WAF that are existing in the market right now, which is more like a web application and API protection platform, which the Gartner coined as WAF. And this actually runs on 4 pillars, which is actually WAF, API, bot mitigation, and a DDoS mitigation solution. But all this will not be able to address the security scenario which is going to come in the next 25 years. So that is where WAF 3.0 is actually coming into picture, where you have to address the issues of microservice-based applications, and also it has to address advanced API security challenges. And this is where Prophase is actually protecting against the business logic attacks, and also advanced bot and the DDoS protection. And also we support on the edge. So that is something disruptive that we are doing. So this is what we are, not just a WAF, a total solution of WAF, AI firewall, and bot and DDoS solution. So this is our innovation to be the first platform on the Kubernetes, and we integrate easily with the CI/CD pipeline. And also we have produced a false positives less than 5%. And this is the analyst we got. Prophase is the first Indian company to be listed as innovation leaders with $1 billion businesses like Cloudflare, Radware, Imperva, and F5. And these are our premium customers, GMR, TCI, and Vinny. So thank you all, and thanks for your patient listening. So let's all WAF together with Prophase.
Jury questions. Jury, open to questions now. Can we have the jury?
Yeah, so I have one question here. You have covered to a great extent about the what aspect of it, right? What is the concept, etc. And broadly, what exactly you do. But the how aspect, maybe I would have expected one slide, for just 1.5 minutes, focusing on how exactly you do that. Because it's a different world, we all understand, right? So how exactly your USP is, right, or the differentiation in comparison to WAF 1.0 or WAF 2.0. That is something I'm not clear.
Yeah, so we, can you hear me? I'm audible, right? Hello? Yeah. Yeah, so typically, what we do is, we, on the Kubernetes platform, let's just talk about Kubernetes, right? So on the Kubernetes platform, so we install as an ingress controller. So we sit as an AT microservices inside a Kubernetes platform, and conventional to the appliances based or the cloud WAF kind of a technology. So we are more into the edge rather than on the perimeter, right? Yeah.
Is it something like a defender pod?
It's not a defender pod. It's a native. It's not a sidecar or something. It's a direct controller itself.
So it's inline.
Inline, correct. Yeah.
Talk to us about your revenue model and your existing customers.
Yeah. So our yearly upfront. Basically, but sometimes we get 3-year and 5-year contracts, but 90% of our yearly upfront. And our featured customers are definitely shown like GMR. The entire GMR is running through Prophase right now. The TCI group is running through us. In the south, we have Ramco Siemens, and of course, we have around 30 customers right now.
And also we are
what is your revenue
with the government?
Our current revenue is 3 CR right now. This year, we are running on 3 CR.
Talk to us a little about your competition.
Of course, the competition is always, you can think about, there are 2 companies, Akamai and Cloudflare. Those people are conventional, kind of CDN providers now telling us security vendors, but, of course, comes from them. And of course, there's a very good company called Imperva, Israeli company, that's a big competition to us. But the thing is that those architectures are kind of 10-year-old architecture because they've been there for a while. And since we came late and entirely on the microservice Kubernetes platform, we are disrupting them. So even I'm not naming them. Among these companies, few of them are research for acquisition, but we are on for a game, to see how it goes. To become an Indian company to rule in that area, right? Compared with the US and Israeli companies.
So your revenue model is on an outright purchase kind of thing, or it's a hiring kind of a model? What kind of model you are?
Annual
doing?
subscription.
Annual upfront subscription. Yeah.
And it's an appliance or it's a software?
It's, so we have typically, our flagship product is Kubernetes Fast, right? So when in the market, we understood that the customers are having conventional API services and all things. So we have a backward compatibility also. So we support the existing current infrastructure of the customers and also the hybrid model of this thing, right? So typically, I lost track of your question. So what you specifically asked?
How is your model going to work on the scenario like?
Appliance. I mean, everything is there, So typically the Kubernetes is an inline existing cluster we installed, and those customers who are in the conventional services, if banks and healthcare need on-premise, so we go for on-prem, and for the other providers, we go for the cloud WAF model. So
we can deploy it in whichever cloud, the application is.
And everything can be on the same single platform they can control. That's one of the unique.
So we have on-premise and both cloud model and also Kubernetes.
And you have offered the DDoS also as a part of your solution.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's our, if you look at this thing, the DDoS protection, the protection, the CDN, all these things come to a single package, right? So we are not going into other email security or whatever, but along the lines of the web security. So we are adding more and more features on the roadmap.
So it's only a solution that is sitting in front, or you have agents also installed on the individual host?
Typically, in this context, in the Kubernetes customer, for the Kubernetes customer, it's kind of deploying inside their cluster. So you can say it's an agent, but it's not an agent. It's an inline communication, as we discussed.
No, my question was related to like if there is an API that is used between two hosts in the same data center, would your device offer any protection?
Yeah, so basically, for the on-prem scenario, they have to change. I mean, the traffic is coming directly to the application server, right? So instead, they have to point it to the proprietary server on the appliance, and it has to go inside. Yeah, so that's.
So, what is your GTM? Are you already having any partners?
Yeah. Correct. So there are three modes. One is going with the distributor channel partner model. That works for us. Being a cybersecurity startup, going to banks or whoever thinks that how we sure that you exist for the next 5 years, right? So of course we found that distributors and channel partners was easy to convince because they are convinced by the customers. So that was the primary model which works for us. The second thing is that connecting with MSSPs and MSPs, the cloud service providers, and third is the incoming leads coming through the internet. So the content marketing.
Incoming leads basically come from the international countries like US, Australia, and Africa. So basically in India and UAE, we work with distributors and partners.
You already have customers in US?
Yes.
Our first customer was from US because they were looking for a Kubernetes-based.
So they Googled for Kubernetes WAF and they landed on the website, and we closed it for 10,000 users.
Okay. Just give quick details about your organization profile per se. The promoters, leadership experience.
So both of us, we are the co-founders. So I started my career with Infosys into the banking product. So Vishal is actually, he was doing freelancing with international customers on cybersecurity. He was part of an ethical hacking community called RuxCon. It's an Australia community. So that is how we got passionate about cybersecurity. And the entire team is 20 members. And we have business operations happening from Delhi. And
you're based out of Delhi?
We have business team and office working from Delhi, and the founders are from Kerala. So it's like a marriage of both South and North, and we are taking the products globally.
Do you have any sectorial focus for GTM, or you're going after everything?
You can see that the fintech and the healthcare, those kind of companies are more. Can you hear me? Hello?
So we have more more people are approaching us from the manufacturing sector and the fintech sector and also e-commerce. And we've also seen that we have, from the power industry like Renew Power, Joram Power, and all of that. We are also working with the government. So we're working with the Kerala e-health government also. So it's more, sector agnostic, and more people are from the fintech and the BFSI sector.
Okay, thank you, jury, and thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Can we have the voting open, please? Voting lines, 1 lowest, 5 highest. Audience, get your fingers going. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, put your hands together. Congratulations for that presentation trophies. Can we now have our hands together and welcome on stage Protect.ai Labs Private Limited. Protect.ai, the stage is all yours.
Good evening. My name is Manish and I'm founder for Protect.ai, and we are building India's first and innovative real-time mobile threat defense platform. We do mobile application, mobile device and mobile transaction security. But today evening I will be talking more about mobile application security and the kind of innovation work what we have done. We talk about digital transformation, and India's digital transformation is actually mobile transformation. No? India is mobile first economy, and if you see numbers, we already have 750 million smartphones in India, 75 crore users, 200,000 applications built in India, 2 lakh applications, and 7.3 billion transactions UPI only. And if you add banking transactions, it will be much more. So this is truly a complete mobile first economy. But once it comes to the threats, this ecosystem is giving. This is some numbers which are very, very scary. 58% of the Android users are under some kind of threat because of the kind of operating system, open source environment. Once it comes to applications, mobile apps largely developed in-house and creates a lot of differences in terms of security levels. And we have done an industry study that 95% of the mobile applications can be reverse engineered. So India experiencing this phenomenal growth in terms of smartphone, but the kind of threats which are opening and which are impacting is going to have a larger impact, and that is where we are playing a critical role. App Protect is our first solution, mobile app security, industry first innovation we call it, a very lightweight SDK, can be integrated with any mobile application, and it provides 50 plus security capabilities by default. Once I say 50 plus, it also takes care of different fraud scenarios, normal fraud scenarios like screen sharing, mirroring, and hacking of mobile applications using any desk platform. We ensure all regulatory compliances are met, and this is our latest concept of in-app security. Okay. Our security is embedded into the mobile application. It gets uploaded, then it goes to the user, and it creates a kind of runtime self-protection from the mobile application. Very quick security update we do, because this is just a 2-week integration, and we ensure 2 weeks of go live for mobile applications with all these 50 plus security capabilities. The advantage what we bring to organizations is complete SaaS-based offering, 2 weeks rollout, market-ready solution, okay, comprehensive application, device, network level security, pay-as-you-go model on a subscription mode, and we are completely sector agnostic, though we are focused on the BFSI side, and we harness the power of cloud and security and mobile economy together to create this App Protect. Okay. Few of our customers launched in January 22, but today we have more than 17 customers. We cover 30 plus applications. BSE, Yes Bank, RBL, FinCare, all are early adopters. And having said that, we have done, monitored 300 million mobile application sessions till now. We prevented 15 million threats covering 1 crore mobile devices. Okay. And we have a vision to have 2 billion sessions to be covered every month. We are also doing a lot of consumer awareness program, because we believe that application mobile app security is one part, but having the right set of awareness to be created and creating a kind of social impact. We have our leadership team. I'm Manish, founder, and we have head of engineering Mohan, Sunita Man, Pankaj, and multiple people. We have early investors from a company, George Sam and Gohan from Mindgate. Customer speak, we have a lot of credentials from the market. In fact, one of our customers is sitting just here. I will request to give a feedback about the solution from BSC Kumar Pandey. Perfect. So we have the right kind of environment and the kind of applications. The market is like 200,000 mobile applications already made in India. Globally, if we talk about, there are 30 million mobile applications. And every time the security is developed, okay, using the same Android developer and iOS, we have come out with a solution which creates a quick go-to-market, ensure comprehensive security, and pay-as-you-go model.
So this is about App Protect, our industry first innovation in Indian market. And I'm open for the jury.
Jury, over to you.
So, you mentioned this has a small footprint. What is the size of the footprint on when it sits on the mobile?
Sorry, sir, I didn't get your question.
What's the size of your product when it sits on the mobile?
Okay. So it's a very lightweight SDK, just 1.9 MB, and it gets integrated into the mobile application. It becomes a component into the mobile application once we integrate it. So just a 1.9 MB SDK.
So who is your target customer? Where does the revenue come from? From the app, from the end user?
So
what is your revenue model?
Our revenue model is all app developers. So app developers are companies like banks, insurance companies, stock exchanges, fintech. So
it's a subscription model to them, or is it per download, per what?
Yeah, so it's a subscription model based on the number of downloads on a yearly basis.
How many customers do you have?
As I said, we have 17 customers, 35 plus applications, and we have we covered more than 1 crore unique devices today.
Revenue?
We have done approximately 5 CR till now in this financial year.
What's the projected revenue?
Projected revenue is 1.5 million USD we want to achieve, and looks like achievable for this year.
Does it have anything beyond the RASP?
We do complete fraud control built into it, okay, for the mobile applications, especially for the banking domain. To give you an example, AnyDesk is a big concern today, okay, and RBI has issued guidelines. So if
but listen, AnyDesk, which is fine, but the way these remote screen sharing apps are getting innovated every day. Today it is AnyDesk. Tomorrow it could be something more. So I'm saying the RASP and the wrapper, which is fine, fantastic, completely relevant use case. But I'm saying that will address one use case of fraud management, if you ask me.
Yes.
As a customer or as a banker, I would look for a little holistic solution when it comes to the mobile payment security. RASP is a fundamental, I understand. So what is next?
So we are doing a complete device and SIM binding for the mobile applications. We call it AppBind, a zero trust unique customer identity management for mobile banking customer. Okay.
What about the anti-malware protection here?
So we provide anti-malware features, okay, and we understand what are the indicators of compromise for a malware. Okay, we don't do signature wise because apps are not supposed to be anti-malware, based on signature. So whether somebody is doing, accessibility permission misuse, or somebody is doing PIP or screen overlay. So all these features from malware perspective are built into our solution.
You mentioned you're doing upgrades or updates over the air.
Yes.
Do you think that's a secure method?
So over the air capability is of course secured, and we do security level enhancements or downgrade based on the experience. Okay. So what OTA provides is, if I want to enable one feature today, okay, and our solution is very much configurable. Enablement as well as downgrade and upgrade of security, which through the OTA we can do on runtime basis. To cite an example, if we have to enable, let's say, AnyDesk related feature, okay, security control, screen sharing, I want to disable, I can go it and do it over the air itself.
Talk to us about your competition.
In India, we do not have any benchmark. Okay, we are the first company who has done this mobile application security. We have some competition from US, from Singapore. So there's a company in the US called OneSpan, and there's a company in Singapore, okay, Wiki, and there are a few others from Israel and all.
Are they more expensive than you are?
I would not like to comment, but yes, certainly it seems like they are more expensive, but we don't know this. Yeah.
Some of the applications which we need to work in offline mode also, and your protection will be there.
That's the beauty of our application, that it can work completely in offline mode. We call it in-app security. The security is built into your application itself. Even if there is no connectivity to the cloud, there is no connectivity and to the internet and to our cloud, there will be no impact on the customer experience. Okay.
Cloud is more towards, OTA in enablement of the capabilities, dashboarding perspective, but customer experience will be 100% intact.
What about if there's some MDM application or something you can use that also?
MDM, we believe, is a dying technology because MDM is not scalable, and this works on a concept of containerization. Okay, we are doing it in app security without the concept of containers. Okay, so this is highly scalable. We have a customer which is having 6 million downloads, 60 lakh customers. Okay, and MDM and all will not work on those scenarios. Okay.
All right, jury, I'm going to step in now and I'm going to say thank you. And thank you so much. Can we have a huge round of applause for Protect.ai? Can we have the voting pads out, please? And the voting countdown and timer. 1 being the highest, lowest, 5 being the highest. Go ahead and cast your votes. Right, can we have a huge round of applause for Protect.ai? Joining us, last but not the least of the teams, have huge round of applause because they're the ones that are bringing in the rear. Secure X Technologies Private Limited, over to you guys.
Am I audible? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bala. I'm co-founder and CTO of SecureX. So the challenge we want to address is advanced file-based threats are designed per organization. There is no concept of a malware which can attack every organization. Once they want to find organization which they are targeting, the malware is designed for that organization, especially in a file-based attack. The solution which we are proposing is our SecureX Advanced Threat Prevention. This is a combination of CDR and dynamic behavior analysis. This solution can be deployed at all the entry points of files in the organization. So any means in which a new file gets into the organization, the solution can be deployed. It can be a file upload, a resume upload, or invoice from a customer, or a third-party vendor sending a document to your solution. Those places, our solutions can be integrated. There are 3 major parts. One is our ATP, which is a REST endpoint-based solution, where we can integrate with the existing application to take the file and then detonate the file in the dynamic environment. It can be an ATP kiosk, where when you have an air-gap network, any file or patch coming into that air-gap network can be analyzed in the system. And the third is with an ICAP integration, where we can seamlessly integrate with firewall, WAF, load balancer. So any file which comes in, the file will be processed by our system and will be sent into the web server. So the USP which we bring is we have our dynamic behavior analysis, where when a malware is specifically targeted as a zero-day attack on your organization, this kind of attacks will be very difficult for an antivirus and traditional system to block because there are no signatures for that particular artifact. In our case, we will emulate the environment which is similar to your production network. For example, you might have a Python, certain version of Python or certain version of Java or a specific version of Windows running in your production. The same system can be emulated by us, and we will detonate the artifact in that environment, trigger the artifact to the fullest extent, and analyze the artifact's behavior outside of the artifact to understand whether it has any malicious intent or not. And that way, we can either block the artifact or send the artifact into your system. So this will be a typical workflow of how our system will be integrated. You have customers submitting some files. We can use an ICAP protocol to integrate with your WAF, load balancer, or a reverse proxy. And any file which, before the file enters into your web server, we will be able to get the file seamlessly through ICAP protocol. We will analyze the file on a behavior analysis, and then based upon the output, we will send the file into your web server. And this image can be customized per customer as well. So our USP is our custom detonation image tailored for organization. So what is the production environment we have? We can customize the image for that. We have lower maintenance, it is cost effective, and simplified deployment and management strategy. So this is a brief about us. We were founded in the year 2018. We are bootstrapped. Our customer base is a major bank and technology company in India. We are working with the defense. Our overseas, we have some technology companies from USA and Europe. Our key focus areas: malware analysis, threat intelligence, content disarm and reconstruction, and breach and attack simulation. Our primary competition are from Russia, Israel, and US and Europe. On the ecosystem integration, we are integrated with Anomaly, VirusTotal. In VirusTotal, we are one of the 13 behavior analysis provider in VirusTotal. we have with ThreatConnect, Cortex X4 from Palo Alto, and Cyber. So this is our leadership team. We combined have around 6 years of experience. We have worked in several MNCs and Silicon Valley and Canada. I myself was working in a Silicon Valley company. I resigned and started this company. So our mission is to acquire 100 customers by the end 2024. We are trying to increase our brand awareness. We want to increase our headcount of employee headcount. We are trying to integrate more with TIP SOAR platform so that the solution is seamlessly available to the customers. Our vision is to acquire 5% of market by 2026. We are working on a new product line with a signatureless detection cyber defense platform. We are continuing to invest in our R&D, marketing, sales, and we want to grow our runway for 10x time. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation.
Jury, over to you.
Talk to us about your revenue model. How do you make money?
So the core technology we built is the malware analysis engine. So the engine has been well tested. We have given to our technology partners in India and abroad. And we are planning to have system integrators and MSSP who will take our product to the customers.
How will you charge the customer?
We are charging on a perpetual license for 3 years, where the license will include updates for a period of 3 years. And then the product will run over the time and the updates will stop after 3 years. The license model for 3 years.
Have you benchmarked yourself against some of the competitors you mentioned?
Yes. So we have benchmarked against the competitors in VirusTotal who do dynamic analysis. And we have very good detection rate. The key advantage we have is we can custom the image for the customer. Usually these analysis happen on a static image which the provider will use. But in our case, let's say if your organization is using certain version of Java, certain version of Windows, the image can be built on that and then we can deploy the particular target attack and stuff.
What's the sort of latency that is expected?
So with respect to CDR, the time CDR technology will only remove all the malicious content or potentially malicious content and send the file. That will be pretty fast. With respect to dynamic behavior analysis, it will take about 1.5 minutes to analyze the file. But it can be done in parallel. We can have multiple detonation environments so that on the whole the process is fast.
So you showed few competitors, right, across the globe?
Yes.
So did you face any one of them in any bid and you replaced them or you won against them?
So many of our existing customers actually compared us, benchmarked us with their samples across these platforms, and then we have successfully completed certain international customers as well. So based on the benchmark, we have won certain cases. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Secnor X. Can we have the voting open, please? Voting lines and the countdown. I hope you've cast your votes, audience. Those of you who are still around, make sure to leave your voting pads with the volunteers. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Innovation Box. Can we have a huge round of applause for all the participating teams?